It is an honor to be here tonight. I have had the pleasure of working with Robin for over a generation, which is pretty amazing, and also the privilege of having nominated her for this award. And I think one of the very difficult things about trying to document a person's capability or talent for listening is that most of what we document is what we say, not what we hear. Robin's CV is here, if any of you would like to look at it later to see the many letters, papers that she has published and talks that she has given and trainees that she has trained. You're all welcome to come and read it. But I really want to kind of point out her ability to listen. She has been an extraordinary colleague. She has made it very clear to all of us in genetics at the University of Washington, and I think in the genetics community as a whole as well, how important it is to listen to what our patients, our clients, our demographic, whatever it is you want to call the people that we work with, to listen to what they need and not what we necessarily need. Because as you all know, when you walk into an examining room, you have an agenda and the patient has an agenda, and you better make sure that your agenda meets theirs and not the other way around. So I think that I can think of no person I know who is more worthy of receiving this award, and I want you to know that in my discussions with Robin before I came here, that she is extraordinarily honored to be the recipient. Thank you. Robin.
Robin Bennett, for your deep respect of the needs of patients, hearing them, and responding with profound presence. I award you the art of listening.
Thank you, James. Thank you.
I've received a few awards, and I think this is the one I cherish the most because it comes from the families that I care so much for. And I've really been privileged to be in the people's lives that I've served over the last 27 years, and I really feel honored to have heard all of your stories and had a small part in your lives, and hopefully made life a little easier for some people. I really feel that I've been a guest in your lives, and I've learned so much from you that I hope that I, in some way, have given you half as much as I've learned, because working with families with genetic disorders makes me feel every day that my life is actually very valued and good, and that I'm doing something helpful every single day. I feel that as a genetics health professional, as a genetic counselor, I have a duty not only to give you the best information I can, and I'm really privileged to work with some of the most amazing geneticists in the world, really, people like Virginia Seibert and Peter Byers in the audience, and Wiley Burke and Arno Matulski, who's one of the founders of the field. And I've really been mentored by many people along the way, and I really feel it's very important for me to give you the best information. I've worked hard on developing genetic counseling practice guidelines so that all people are giving you the same kind of information of the same quality. And I've been proud that in developing genetic counseling practice guidelines, I always make sure that there is a consumer advocate at least reviewing them, if not an author on those papers, learning from Sharon Terry and how empowered consumers should make us, and that they have so much to tell us, we shouldn't feel like we know everything. I think that one of the things I'm proudest of is that in 2000, I wrote a paper that said when cousins marry, the risks to their children are not as great as people think. And I thought that was an important thing to get out, because I'd heard a story of a woman who'd had an abortion, actually, because her doctor had given her the wrong information. And I was really appalled that that could have happened to someone because of misinformation. So the next day, they asked me if I could be with a few reporters, and next thing I know, I'm on the front page of the New York Times, I'm in U.S. News and World Report. People are calling from all over the world about this, and I still, 10 years later, get calls almost every week from people who said, I married the wrong person, I wanted to have a child and I didn't because of this. And it seemed like a small thing. The people that I work with said, I found the gene for Alzheimer's disease and I wasn't on the front page of the newspaper. And I said, well, did you ever have a crush on your cousin? So they kind of shut up about that. But I want to thank all the families and also my family, Marin and Evan, who are over there. Marin just graduated from middle school also, so she has something in common with Sam. And I would like to leave you with a gift from my grandfather. I'll read you a poem because I am a liberal arts major. I believe in science and the melding of other liberal arts things. And he was a geologist, and his name was Marion Dwight Harbaugh, or Doc Harbaugh. And I never got to meet him, but I feel this represented who he was. And it's called the Grand Canyon. And if you would do me a favor and just really close your eyes and think about that glorious place called the Grand Canyon and those red rocks, I'll read this to you. In a glamorous land on the top of the world, where the sky is an endless blue, a wedge of heaven has driven deep and split the earth in two, and torn its face in a jagged wound all splotched and stained with blood that long since poured from its riven veins in a surging ghastly flood. I stood one day and gazed in awe at that gaping beautiful gash that stretches from dawn to the setting sun like the trail of a dragging lash. And I looked for miles to its deepest depths to behold with wondering eyes the sinuous edge of that mighty wedge that still presses down from the skies. Then I trembled to think of the fearful powers that buffet the world in me, and I pitied the earth that since its birth has suffered so patiently. But then I began to understand how a life is shaped and steeled, and made both rugged and beautiful by the scars where its wounds have healed. Thank you.